August 27th. Things right now, and actually since I've returned to Egypt, which was on the 20th, have been extremely calm, very calm. There's been really nothing going on. We are scheduled. Our school got delayed for 2 weeks, which is interesting, but the Ministry of Education is trying to comply with the curfew that's in place right now. Curfew runs from 9 at night until 6 in the morning, except on Fridays, which is prayer day and usually the day of the most protests. So on Friday, curfew starts at 7 in the evening and goes till 6 the next morning. But because we have to run buses places and we have to not only pick up students, workers in buses, the ministry doesn't want us starting. So we're starting on September 15th. There is a big protest by the Brotherhood called for this Friday. But no one, of course, is sure what's going to happen until Friday comes and we see what the Brotherhood does.
Well, I noticed, let me break in very quickly. I noticed during our interview earlier, when was it, last month?
Right.
I noticed that you said the Sinai would be a problem, and sure enough, it's a problem.
It's a huge problem. And they had a huge problem at that police station or right around that police area at the border, one of the border crossings with Israel, where they took 27 of the police officers. The Brotherhood did. They put them face down on the ground and basically took a summary execution of 27 officers. That is right near the tunnels. That location is right near the tunnels that go into the West Bank. I mean, Gaza, not the West Bank, excuse me, Gaza, where Hamas obviously has a great deal of control. Since I returned, they have arrested the man who was the supreme leader of the Brotherhood here in Egypt. He is now under arrest, charged with miscellaneous, not crimes against humanity, but,
right.
Some of these killings and things like that. They have replaced him with a guy from Hamas, which I think is really interesting.
That should do it.
But that goes over very well. Let's just say everybody loves that.
Well, now Hamas, just to be clear, Hamas, they are Sunni, right?
Yeah.
And basically, Egypt is basically Sunni, right?
That's correct, and the Brotherhood are Sunni.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, since we really don't have that much time. What do you kind of feel, number one, do you feel threatened at all?
No.
All right, their argument is not with you.
No.
Okay.
But I have to tell you, David, since I've returned to Egypt, my flight got in about 1:30 in the afternoon. I got into a car of a driver that I know very well and I've worked with for 2 years. I came through town. I came straight through past Ramses Square where there was a huge protest and lots of killing. I came across the 6 October Bridge, which was a scene of some pretty bad crap that went on, and I just came right on out. I have not left Sheikh Zayed since I got back, and don't plan on it. I will not go anywhere down the Mechwar towards town. I won't do it.
Where exactly are you?
I am about 30 kilometers, 25 to 30 kilometers west of Tahrir.
Now, let me ask you this. Of course, I'm sure you've been watching the whole Syrian thing with interest.
Oh, my God.
Which scares the crap out of me, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nobody called me and asked me if it was okay.
They didn't ask me.
Here's my question, though. Is that going to have any effect in Egypt? Number one. And number two, my biggest fear with the whole Syrian thing is that Assad's going to say, well, you know what? Why don't I lob a few missiles into Israel? Because everybody hates Israel, and that'll take the, and that'll be a signal to go to Israel. I don't know. What do you think?
I was just reading on Fox News, today's news where DOD official gave a statement to Fox News saying it was not a matter of if, but when the United States would strike against Syria. They're trying to figure out when the right time to do that is. I think if that happens, I honestly believe that Syria will blow up, and I do think they'll drag Israel into it. The Brotherhood has openly and blatantly blamed Israel for all of their problems here in Egypt. Even though I don't believe that that's necessarily a true statement, they're just, trying to stir up trouble with Israel, and I believe Assad will support that statement and has the power, the military might, to go after Israel. So I don't believe that it's improbable that Assad will do that.
Wow. So how would that affect you?
It won't affect me as long as Egypt keeps its eye on Egypt. It really won't, I don't think.
I mean, do you think Egypt is so involved with its own turmoil that the military, who seems to, if not be pro-Israel, at least pro-treaty?
They're pro-treaty.
They don't want to start anything with Israel, right?
No. I do not believe that that's true. I don't think, yes, I believe that that's true. In other words, no, I don't think that the military has any interest in going against Israel. I really don't. The government has not given any indication of that. The military has not given any indication whatsoever of that.
I guess it would depend on the turmoil, really, whether there would be free and fair elections. But there never have been free and fair elections, have there?
Absolutely not. There have been.
It would be nice, but I would think security right now, and of course the irony of that being in the United States with all the crap that's going on right now. Of course, here's the scary thing. Since you're in Egypt, you know that this is being backed right now in Utah, which I find a little scary, but what are you going to do?
Well, exactly. I think that the opinion right now of the Egyptian military, and therefore the opinion of the Egyptian government, is to try to get by with as little help and support from the United States as possible. I'm not saying they're turning, they're going to do anything about the treaty or anything, but I think their opinion is basically the United States can F off. Excuse me for saying it that way, but they're trying to just sort of hold it in the road, if you will.
Good.
Okay, here's the general take on sort of the situation here. This is sort of, no one really knows. A couple of weeks ago or last week, there was supposed to be, the Brotherhood called for a big day of protest after prayer on Friday. Maybe that was even last week. And it was sporadic at best. It was not organized, and not very many people showed up. And some people are saying that was on purpose, that it's going to happen that way for like a couple of times, and then it's not necessarily going to end up being a big protest again, but it will become more hit and run incidences of terrorism.
Well, keep us posted, okay? And for God's sake, stay safe.
We'll try to do that as well.
Okay.